Overheard girlfriend's call with AP, canceled proposal, and blocked her on every platform. I was days away from proposing to my girlfriend, Emily. The ring was in my pocket. The reservation at her favorite restaurant was booked, and I had even rehearsed my speech. I truly believed she was the one, until one night, everything changed. I came home earlier than expected and heard her on the phone. I was about to step in and surprise her with dinner, but then I froze. The words coming out of her mouth were not meant for me. She giggled, whispered sweet things, and told someone how much she missed them. My heart pounded as I realized she was talking to another man. My vision blurred with rage and disbelief. I stayed silent, listening to every painful word. I knew right then I would not be proposing. Instead, I would be walking away forever, leaving her with nothing but the regret of losing me. Emily and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's party, and from the very beginning, everything felt perfect. She was charming, intelligent, and had this infectious laugh that made everyone around her smile. I fell hard, and it did not take long before we moved in together. Our relationship seemed solid. We traveled, shared dreams of the future, and even talked about marriage. I was convinced that she was my soulmate. She would often drop hints about getting engaged, jokingly asking when I would finally put a ring on it. I played along, pretending to keep her waiting, but in reality, I had been planning the perfect proposal for months. I had saved up for a beautiful diamond ring and arranged for a special night at her favorite restaurant. Everything was set. I was ready to take the next step. But then, just days before my planned proposal, fate intervened. Looking back, there had been signs I ignored, subtle things that, at the time, I dismissed as normal relationship ups and downs. Emily had been spending more time on her phone, often smiling at her screen, and quickly putting away when I walked into the room. She also had unexplained late nights at work, but she always had excuses, meetings, last-minute deadlines, or catching up with friends. I wanted to trust her. I had no reason to doubt her, or so I thought. One night, I noticed something odd. She had become strangely protective of her phone, setting it face down and changing her password. When I casually asked her about it, she laughed it off, saying she was just being more cautious with privacy. Still, I ignored my gut feeling, convincing myself that she loved me as much as I loved her. I had no idea that my world was about to shatter in the most unexpected way. It all started on a quiet evening when Emily was in the shower. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, when I heard her phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. At first, I ignored it, assuming it was one of her friends. But then, the name that flashed on the screen caught my attention. Babe read heart. My heart dropped. That was not me. I felt a cold wave of panic rush through me. My hands trembled as I debated whether to look at the phone. I was not the kind of person to invade someone's privacy, but something in my gut told me this was not right. Then, her phone buzzed again, this time a notification from a messaging app. The preview revealed part of the message. I can't wait to see you again. Last night was amazing. I froze. My body went numb as realization hit me, like a ton of bricks. I needed to know the truth. I hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath and tapped on the message. The conversation that unfolded before my eyes shattered everything I believed about our relationship. The messages were intimate, filled with flirtation and inside jokes. They had met multiple times, shared secret dates, and worst of all, Emily had been lying in my face for who knows how long. Before I could react, I heard the shower turn off. My heart pounded as I placed the phone back exactly where it was and walked back to the couch, trying to act normal. Emily walked out moments later, wrapped in a towel, smiling at me as if nothing was wrong. I forced myself to smile back, but inside, I was breaking. That night, I could barely sleep. My mind replayed every moment we had shared, the laughter, the vacations, the talks about our future. All of it suddenly felt like a lie. I needed more proof. The next morning, I devised a plan. I would act completely normal, but I would keep a close watch on her. If she was really cheating, I needed undeniable evidence. Later that evening, I told Emily I had a work meeting and would be home late. In reality, I parked my car down the street from our apartment and waited. Sure enough, an hour after I left, she walked out, dressed up and looking excited. She got into an Uber, and I quickly started following from a distance. The car stopped at a restaurant across town. I watched as she walked inside and sat at a corner booth. A few minutes later, a man joined her, someone I had never seen before. They leaned in close, laughing and touching each other like a couple in love. My stomach churned. I wanted to walk in and confront him right there, but I needed to be smart. Instead, I took out my phone and started recording from my car. Every smile, every touch. It was all captured in crystal clear quality. Then, something unexpected happened. Emily pulled out her phone, and I saw my name pop up on her screen. She smiled and answered. "Hey, babe." she said sweetly, as if she was not sitting across from another man. I clenched my fists. Hey, how's your night going? I asked, playing along. Oh, just relaxing at home. I might go to bed early, she lied effortlessly. I felt my blood boil, but I kept my voice calm. All right, get some rest. Love you. Love you too, she said without hesitation. She hung up and immediately turned back to her affair partner, placing her hand over his as they laughed. That was the moment I knew I was done. I did not go home that night. Instead, I stayed at a hotel, processing everything. The proposal, the ring, the dreams of future together. It all meant nothing now. The next morning, I contacted a lawyer. I did not just want to leave. I wanted to make sure Emily faced the consequences of her actions. Then I planned my final move. Emily's entire demeanor shifted. Her confident, flirtatious mask crumbled, and for the first time, I saw a genuine fear in her eyes. Her breathing became erratic as she turned toward the woman who had just entered the restaurant. Is that? She stuttered, barely managing to form words. Yes, I confirmed, leaning back in my chair, arms crossed. That is the wife of your boyfriend, and she is not happy. Emily clutched the edge of the table, her knuckles turning white. Beads of sweat formed at her temples as panic set in. She was trapped, caught in the middle of a storm she never expected to face head-on. Her wide, darting eyes betrayed her, silently pleading for a way out, but there was none. The woman, Olivia, stormed toward us, fury burning in her eyes. Her fists clenched at her sides, and her breathing was heavy, labored, like someone who had run straight into battle without hesitation. She did not hesitate. She slammed the phone down onto the table, the screen still lit up, displaying messages, photos, and voice notes I had sent her earlier that day. You disgusting, home-wrecking liar, Olivia hissed, her voice trembling with rage. Emily flinched as though she had been physically struck. Olivia, please let me explain. Olivia cut her off, her voice rising. She snatched the phone back up and aggressively scrolled through more incriminating messages, then turned the screen toward Emily. Oh, I would love to hear an explanation for this. While I was home, taking care of our kids, you were sneaking around with my husband. Gasps and whispers rippled through the restaurant. Heads turned in our direction, and suddenly, every table within earshot fell silent, their occupants more interested in the unfolding drama than their meals. The waitstaff froze, unsure whether to intervene or let the confrontation play out. Emily's shoulders curled inward, shrinking under the weight of Olivia's fury. Her voice dropped to a desperate whisper. Can we please talk somewhere private? Olivia let out a cold, bitter laugh. Oh, now you care about privacy? Were you worried about privacy when you were in my house with my husband? Emily's lip quivered, but she quickly tried to regain composure. She turned to me, her eyes wide with desperation. Please, can we just go home and talk about this? I shook my head, my expression blank. We have nothing to talk about. Emily's hand shot across the table to grab mine, but I jerked away before she could touch me. Do not touch me, I said coldly. She flinched, as if my rejection physically pained her. I swear it was a mistake, she pleaded, her voice breaking. I got caught up in something I never meant to happen. Olivia scoffed loudly. Oh, spare me the excuses. You are just sorry because you got caught. If you had not found out, you would still be sneaking around with my husband, lying to everyone, playing the victim. I nodded, locking eyes with Emily. Exactly. And that is why this is over. Not just our relationship. Emily, your entire facade of being a loyal girlfriend. It is done. Emily's breathing grew ragged. I could see the gears turning in her head, desperately trying to find an angle that could save her. But there was nothing left to salvage. You destroyed everything, she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. No, I corrected, my voice sharp as a knife. You destroyed us the moment you chose to cheat. You just never expected to get caught. Her face contorted with pain, but I did not let it sway me. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and, without hesitation, opened my contacts. Her breath hitched as she saw me scrolling. What are you doing? I did not answer. I went to her contact profile and hovered my finger over the block button. You are really blocking me? She choked out, her voice barely above a whisper. I tapped the screen. Yes, because you are nothing to me now. The finality of it hit her like a truck. She gasped, her body trembling as she realized I had just erased her from my life. Please, she begged, her voice breaking. Please do not do this. I love you. I scoffed. No, you do not. You love yourself. And you love lying. Emily's face crumpled, her emotions spilling over in a form of quiet sobs. But I was done feeling sorry for her. I had spent enough time believing in a woman who had no respect for me, my time, or my love. I pushed my chair back and stood up, placing some cash on the table for my meal. I turned to Olivia. You deserve better than a lying husband. Whatever you decide to do next, I hope it brings you peace. Olivia gave me a firm nod. Same to you. As I turned to leave, I felt Emily's gaze burning into my back. She was waiting, hoping, praying that I would look back, that I would give her one last chance. But I never did. I walked out of the restaurant, into the cool evening air, without a single glance behind me. That was the last time I ever saw Emily. The moment I left, I felt free. No more lies. No more betrayal. Just me, starting over, without the weight of her dragging me down. As I stepped out of the restaurant, the cool night air hit me like a cleansing wave. The weight of betrayal, anger, and heartbreak began to lift with every step I took away from that place. I had wasted too much time on someone who had no respect for me, and now I was reclaiming my life. I walked to my car, unlocked it, and sat in the driver's seat for a moment, taking a deep breath. My phone buzzed. I did not even have to look at it to know who it was. Emily. Even though I had already blocked her number, I knew she would find other ways to reach me. Social media, unknown numbers, emails. But I was prepared for this. I pulled up my settings and methodically blocked her everywhere. I was done. By the time I arrived home, my phone was filled with notifications from mutual friends. Word had spread fast. Some messaged me with shock, some with support, and others with useless questions. One text caught my attention. It was from Emily's best friend, Rachel. I cannot believe what she did to you. I am so sorry. You deserve better. I stared at the message for a moment before replying. Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate it. I was not interested in discussing Emily any further. I turned off my phone and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Sleep did not come easy that night, but for the first time in a long time, my heart felt lighter. The next morning, I woke up to an unexpected knock on my door. I opened it to find none other than Emily, her face streaked with dried tears, her hair disheveled as if she had barely slept. Please, she begged, stepping forward, but I did not move. Please, just hear me out. I crossed my arms. There is nothing left to say, Emily. She shook her head violently. No, that is not true. You were going to propose. We were supposed to be together forever. You cannot just throw everything away like this. I let out a humorless chuckle. Funny, that is exactly what you did the moment you decided to cheat. She let out a broken sob. It was a mistake. I was confused. I raised an eyebrow. Confused? You were not confused when you were sneaking around behind my back. You were not confused when you were lying to me every single day. You only feel guilty because you got caught. Emily shook her head again, reaching out for my arm. I will do anything. Just please do not leave me like this. I took a step back. I already left, Emily. The moment I walked out of that restaurant, I was done with you. Her breathing grew shallow. I could see her panic rising, her mind scrambling for something. Anything to hold on to. And then she played her final, desperate card. Do you really want to throw away all our memories? Everything we have built together? I met her gaze, my expression unwavering. I did not look back on memories made with a liar. Whatever we built together, you destroyed it. Her shoulders sagged, and for the first time, I saw the realization hit her. She had lost me. I stepped back inside and closed the door in her face. She did not knock again. Over the next few weeks, I focused on moving forward. I spent more time with friends, went to the gym, and picked up hobbies I had abandoned while being in a relationship with someone who clearly never valued me. Then I got an interesting message from Olivia. You will not believe what happened. Call me. Curious, I dialed her number. You were right, she said the moment she picked up. I filed for divorce, and guess what? Turns out my husband was hiding a lot more than just his affair with Emily. I frowned. What do you mean? He had been misusing our joint bank account. I had my lawyer investigate, and we found out he was secretly funneling money into a separate account for himself. He was preparing to leave me anyway, but he wanted to drain our savings first. I whistled lowly. Wow, what a piece of trash. It gets better, she continued. I contacted his workplace and sent them all the evidence of his affair with Emily. Turns out, their company has a strict policy about inter-office relationships, especially ones that could cause legal issues. They both got fired. I laughed. No way. Both of them. Yep. And to make it even better, since Emily lost her job, she is apparently struggling to pay her rent. She moved in with my ex-husband, but now that he is also unemployed, they are basically drowning financially. I leaned back in my chair, a smirk forming on my lips. So, let me get this straight. She cheated, got caught, lost her boyfriend's wife, lost her job, and now she is stuck with a guy who was already planning to screw her over anyway? Exactly. Olivia chuckled. Karma is fast, huh? Faster than I expected. I admitted. We talked for a bit longer, but as I ended the call, I felt something I had not felt in a long time. Closure. A few days later, I got one final message from an unknown number. I am so sorry. I miss you so much. Please, just give me one more chance. I deleted the message without responding. Emily was nothing more than a lesson now, a painful but necessary experience that had only made me stronger. She had chosen to betray me, and she had suffered the consequences of her own choices. Meanwhile, I was thriving. I had reconnected with old friends, built a stronger relationship with myself, and even started dating again, this time with someone who actually respected me. Looking back, I realized something important. Sometimes, the best revenge is simply moving on and living a life that your betrayer can only dream of. Emily had lost everything, but I had gained so much more. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, press the bell icon, and leave a comment below.